All right. Whoever's in here, first viewer, let me know if you can hear me. And let me know if you hear any background noise or if you can hear my voice pretty clear, because I'm actually using a new setup today, so I want to just make sure everything's working okay. Again, let me know if you guys can hear me or not. I'm kind of just getting prepared still. I went live a little bit early just because I have a new setup and I need to know if it's working okay. I'm getting everything ready for tying here. Anybody new joining in, let me know if you guys can hear me or not. I'm not sure if you can hear me because I'm using a new setup. So I just want to make sure it's working. All right, cool. Starting off here, just tying some small little. These are like olive quill beta nymphs. So you guys will get to see that here now. That's what I'm going to start off tying. Now, let me know if you hear any background noise also. I have a fan going in the background. If you guys are hearing that, I can turn that off if it's annoying. So I'm not sure if I'm actually going to use this mallard flank for the tail, or if I'm actually going to use some Coke or Coq de Leon. I'm not sure. I kind of want to go with that gray, but I just feel like, yeah, I'm going to back that off. I want to go with that gray, but those fibers for mallard flank just aren't good for tail making. Okay, so now I need to find my calculator. Oh, here's some of it. I don't know. Oh, there it is, right there. Well, has anybody been out trying to do some fishing? I was out today, and it's terrible out there. There's literally just no water anywhere, and like the few places that there are a decent amount of water, it's just so low and clear that like you literally have to stay like 40 feet away from like any fish, or you're not catching anything. And it's just so low and clear that like I swear they're not even eating. They're just too busy hiding. Yeah, so for anybody new that just joined up here before or after I explain what we're doing, I'm tying some olive quill like beta nymphs. So you guys will get to see that here now. That's what we're going to start off tonight with. But go ahead and leave a like on the live stream here. Again, you guys know that helps the videos and stuff out, and makes me want to continue to do this in the future. So I'm going to get some of this stuff open. And then any questions, anything like that along the way, just leave a comment and we will talk about it. You guys can also start conversation as well. But yeah, so this is what we're using right here. I like buying these. Like, I know you can dye them from the peacock girls and stuff like that, but these things are, I just like buying these packs because it's just like super easy to buy this stuff and just use these. Basically, I'm going to go ahead and take this back to about right there. Alright, and then after we wrap our quill, go ahead and do a 3-turn whip finish just to set that right there. And then we'll go ahead and cover this in UV. And then we'll go ahead and put the dubbing on afterwards. Actually, I might go throw this UV in the microwave for a little bit. It's kind of cold in this room, and it's kind of thick. So size hook is I tie this fly in a size 18 because it's a Batis. So like I like my Batis flies like super small like that. So it's a size 18 Orient Sun 5241. It's like a wide gap jig hook, and it's heavy wire. And the bead is just like a tactical fly fisher tungsten slotted bead in black nickel. And then the quills are Polish quills. I think that's the brand, Polish quills, and they're hand stripped. I'll show you guys here again while this is drying. So once we have that dried, just go ahead and take a few turns there to get that thread started again. Make a little dubbing loop, dub it, and then just whip finish it. But let me see, I'm thinking about using a different dubbing after this, so give me 1 second here. Let's see. Ooh, okay. That's actually interesting. So, do you guys think I should go with, I'll give you the 2 options here. So we can either do Ice Dub UV Gray. I don't know where you guys can see this better. I think probably on the GoPro. So should we do Ice Dub UV Gray, or should I do this Adams Gray, this super fine? So this will give it more of like a shaggy look, and this will give it more of like a real fine look. Oh, the size bead is a 2.3 millimeter, yeah. So I think that would, like Tactical Fly Fisher, they have theirs listed in like actual competition sizes. So I think the 2.3 is the 2.5. Well, I got no answers for the dubbing, so I think we're going to go with the Ice Dub UV Gray. Just the smallest little pinch. This may even be a little bit too much. I'm going to back some of that off there and take away some of that dubbing. All right, I'll be actually right back. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm going to go throw this UV in the microwave real quick. It's pretty thick. I need it to get loose. All right. So there's the first finished fly. I think we're going to tie up some pheasant tails after I finish tying these as well, because I'm actually out of some pheasant tails. And sometimes this vise moves on me, so if it ever gets out of focus for you guys, just leave a chat, let me know, because I'm not always looking at the actual live stream. Alright, this time we're going to see if we can get a little bit smaller piece of dubbing so we're not going to pull that off. Still a little bit more than I'd like, but I'm just going to finish it. Actually, you know what? I am going to pull it off. Cannot a little off with my dubbing. Like how much I think I'm going to need. I don't really like big collars on my flies, so when it looks big, it just looks weird to me. Oh no. Okay, we could salvage that. Oops. So I've actually had that happen also. I think it's possibly that. I think that sometimes if you don't dry it thoroughly, it doesn't stick on there really good. Another thing that, because like I said, I've had this happen before, so these were like my theories behind it. So it's either not cured enough, there's too much on it. So there's like this big bulk of it, and when you put the thread on, it kind of loosens it up because it's like this big bulge of like just basically like UV resin. So like when that thread tightens down on it too much, it starts to loosen it. And then also, I think the type of UV resin can be an issue too. Like right now, I switched over to Solres, and this stuff definitely, when they say it like cures like tack free, it definitely does. I was using Loon stuff when I used to have that happen, so it could be the resin as well. All right. I bumped the camera. Let me know if I think it's back in focus. I think we should be good, but let me know if it's not. Yeah, the Loon Thick is literally what I used to use. So again, I'm not saying that it's crap or whatever, but I mean it could be that could be the issue. Because I used to have that happen all the time with that UV Loon Thick stuff. And I actually have the bottle right here. I don't use it anymore, but yeah, it used to happen with that. And like I said, now I'm using the Solres Thin. So, anybody else in here tying along or tying other flies or just kind of watching? Cool. Another thing I forgot to mention, CP. I think too. So like, I bought this. I don't know if you've like watched any of my other fly tying videos, but I bought this really like high-powered UV cure light. I actually bought this because of that issue. I think like I had this theory that like because sometimes when you buy those UV lights from like the fly shops, they're just like a 10 bulb or like they're not very powerful. So I bought this one off of Amazon. It's like 30 LEDs or something like that. But I mean, you can feel heat come off of this thing when the batteries are full. So I bought this light because I think that a higher powered light will also help. Nice. Where do you work at that you're able to watch? Oh, almost forgot. We didn't put the dubbing on that. We're not done with this. And right after I finish this fly, I'll be right back. I gotta go get my dog water. She's in there rattling the bowl, letting me know that she needs water. Alright, sounds good. I mean, hey, it's still cool though. getting through the night or evening at work, watching some fly tying. But okay, yeah. So this fly's done. I'll be right back. I gotta go get my dog water. Yeah. Yeah, those definitely on the UV lights. You guys are, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button on this video too. It helps the video and the channel out. Cannot seem to get these fibers. Finally. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for rain. I was talking at the beginning of this live stream. I was out fishing today, and some of like the only water that you can find an even decent flow at, and it's just so low and crystal clear that it's just so hard to even pick up some fish. Like we were picking up some smaller fish, but even those fish don't come easy. It's like the temps on all these streams now are getting good with the cool nights, but there's no water. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, picked up a few fish, and it was a great time out. Just it's a little frustrating because it's like we're missing that one piece of the puzzle. It's just like everything's finally getting to that point where it's like every stream should be almost to the point where it's cool enough now, but it's so low and clear that it just makes the fishing so tough. And at least where I fish, there's not even rain in the forecast for like the next 2 weeks even yet. CP, you must live down like sort of by Harrisburg. That's actually I used to live out there. I used to live in Hummelstown. I think I need to clean off. I gotta clean off this brush for this UV too. It's like there's like some hard pieces of UV on it or something. So I'm gonna step away for a second again and grab a piece of paper towel. All right. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Central PA and like North Central and Northwest, like where I fish, it's bad. Like there's any stream. Like, the only stream that is like fishable is like Spring Creek and like Bald Eagle below Spring Creek and a few others. But like, yeah, it's bad. And I saw like 18 counties or whatever, like on like drought watch, and then Potter County is in like sort of like the beginning stages of like an actual like drought or something like that. But seriously, it just needs to rain. Yeah, I thought about going up to the Yak also. The only reason I just like never bring myself around to go up there just because like all of it's just holdover stock. But like yeah, it's getting to the point where like that's literally like one of the only options. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that, CP. I actually go down to Maryland to fish, Savage and North Branch sometimes in the summer and when it, like, usually around like end of June and a little bit through July. Um, but that's basically. Sometimes I'll venture down there, in other parts of the year. But I mean, I basically buy my license just for like a month and a half down there. Yeah, I mean, as far as the Savage goes, I don't know. It's always weird for me. Like right around end of June, it always fishes well, and then like sometimes like right as July hits, like it gets weird and the fish get really selective. But I mean, yeah, in general, it fishes great. But like I said, I don't fish it too much, so I don't have like the full scoop on it. And then yeah, as far as so like that's like more that's I consider that like south central, but yeah, I really don't fish down those creeks too much. Even when I lived there, I didn't really fish those too much. I always went more up towards like Penns Creek and uh, yeah, more up by like State College or north of there. Anybody new that joined up, go ahead, hit the like button and join in on the conversation here. Right now we're tying some small quill Baetis nymphs. And after I finish this row, I might tie some pheasant tails or some midges. Yeah, I've fished. Actually, that's one of the ones that I fished more often when I like down that way was Cadorus. Um, Yellow breeches, I never really fished too much either. But I mean, when I lived right there in Hummelstown, like I would fish pens a lot, just because it was only like I think it was like only like an hour and 15 minutes, and I mean for me that's like a pretty short drive just to get to pens. So like if that's an option, I'm definitely gonna go there. If you guys want to see like any of the fly boxes or like the setup here or anything, let me know and I can move the GoPro to kind of show you guys. Oh, so the color is just olive. Polish quills, olive. Polish quills is like the brand, and then it's just the olive color. I think I'm actually going to trim up the bottom of that one a little bit. It's hanging down a little bit. Looks weird. Fish probably won't care, but I'm like OCD when it comes to my nymphs. Okay, so I'll say this. I honestly don't know, but so when we were out fishing the bottom of Spring Creek today, and we were catching like a ton. Like I know that there's always the little rainbows down there and stuff that you catch, but these were like straight up, fins were rubbed raw and stuff, like little, all the same size, like literally anywhere from probably like 6 to 8 inches. And like, I mean, that's all we were catching was a ton of those, and they looked fresh stocked. So I think that they freshly just stocked fingerlings in bald eagle, because I mean, you never catch that many down there. The amount that we were catching, we caught, maybe 3 browns, I think. But other than that, it was all those little rainbows. And like I said, they all look fresh stocked. So I think they fresh stocked fingerlings down there. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think that they'll still stock. I just don't think that they'll put out the, they won't tell you where or when. But to be honest, I kind of like that they don't tell you where or when, because I mean, it's just like a lot of those people that follow around the truck or whatever. It's like, I mean, you should be going fishing because you want to go fishing, not just because there's fresh stalkers in the hole that you just watched them put in. Make people explore a little bit. Oh, damn it. SS, are you saying you agree that you think they just stopped it? Were you guys catching a bunch of those little rainbows too? Yeah, this I used to tie this pattern with the exactly how we're doing it now, but for the dubbing, I was using that black peacock ice dub. And I'll tell you what, I've had some killer days on Penns Creek with this fly. Like 30 plus fish fishing behind people. Oh yeah, yeah. I honestly don't understand like why they don't just do that to begin with. To like the most you need to know is what creeks they stock. I mean, other than that, I don't think you need to know the exact stocking locations or when they're going to stock it. Just know that they're going to stock it and, go find your fish. I think that would get rid of crowds, like, all in one spot and stuff like that as well. I mean, I don't fish for stock fish much myself. Like, sometimes if I'm fishing for wild trout and, the stocked fish are in that stream also, then I'll catch some stockies, but it's just not my thing to go, like, fish for stock trout. But, I mean, the people that do, I think that, not following the truck around, we should definitely end that, because to me, following the truck around and stock trout, like, if you fish for stock trout, then, this might offend you or whatever, but my whole thing is fishing for stock trout is literally no different than me putting fish in a pool and someone fishing for them. The only difference is it's, someone putting fish in a pool that is in a natural, scenic environment. Other than that, there's no difference. Like, the people that, I ask people, or if I was to ask someone, hey, would you have fun if I put trout in your swimming pool in your backyard, and you caught them out there? They would probably say no. But that's basically what you're doing on the stream, except for it's in a stream, not in a pool. For everybody else that's tying right now, what are you guys tying up? think this actually might be the best one that I tied tonight so far. We got 4 more to tie of this one, and then we'll switch it up. Anybody new joined up, go ahead and leave a like, and then leave any comments, questions that you guys have, or anything like that. And if you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to see, you know, more live fly tying, or, you know, if you haven't checked out any of my other videos, go ahead and check those out. Oh, I'm getting mixed and matched here. We're not at that part yet. Still gotta put the quill on. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if you were in here when I did that or not, but I mean, it wasn't really. It wasn't cloudy like to the extent that you're probably talking about, and it wasn't like clumpy yet, but it was getting like kind of thick, and this is the thin. So yeah, I actually just put it in the microwave for, you know, I think it was what, 10-15 seconds, like you said, and yeah, it basically turns to thin liquid again. But yeah, I mean, ever since I started using the Solarez Bone Dry, it's definitely like the best UV resin, I think. Um, that's actually a good question. So, in a sense, yeah. I mean, to be honest, any fly will probably catch any fish given certain circumstances. But for brook trout, I would say brook trout would basically take any fly that you present them as long as they're hungry. Um, Now, for browns, I would say most of the time I find myself leaning towards a more natural looking fly for brown trout fishing. So, like this fly here, I would definitely use for browns. Stuff like rainbow warriors and stuff like that. I think that those are a lot better for if you're fishing somewhere where rainbows are, or brook trout. Not to say that you're not going to catch brown trout on patterns like that, but I would say generally speaking, I think that you're better off using a more natural looking fly for brown trout than like something flashy. So one other thing, I forget if it was CP or Jeffrey. Like when I forgot to put the UV on here, but if you don't want this stuff to like bulge up when you go, and kind of, I don't even know how you describe it. I think someone described it pretty well, but you know what I mean, like where it pops off the fly, like where the UV is not attached to the actual fly anymore, and it creates like that air pocket underneath. When you go to do the whip finish at the end, when you put that dubbing on, if you're tying them how I'm tying them right now, don't really pull that whip finish too tight, because if you really hammer down on that UV, that I think that causes it to push it backwards and it moves it off the fly. So I usually do my whip finishes pretty loose on these kind of flies, and then I put UV on the thread wraps anyway, so it's going to stay in place. But yeah, I would say definitely don't pull that whip finish too tight on UV resin flies like that. No one will even notice that. Yeah, yeah. I believe these are definitely natural quills that are just dyed olive. I've tried using the synthetic ones, but I just don't like the way that they. I don't know. For some reason, for me they didn't turn out how I wanted the fly to look. Not saying that it didn't look good. It just didn't. It wasn't what I was going for, basically. If you guys are just tuning in, don't forget to leave a like and leave a comment. Any questions you guys have, let me know uh, what they are, and I will try to answer them to the best of my abilities. And feel free to speak among yourselves in the comments there. We're right now tying some olive quill Baetis nymphs. The hook? No, these are barbless hooks. That one got a little short. That was kind of hard to put on there. All right. So after we finish this one, we'll need to tie one more, and then we'll be switching it up. So while we're finishing up this last file, let me know what would you guys want to see next tied. I thought about tying some pheasant tails because I need pheasant tails. Maybe some midges, and then possibly some some crest bugs in size 16 because I'm all out of that. So let me know what you guys would want to see. It could be like another suggestion as well, but alright, yeah, I'll tie up some pheasant tails how I tie mine because I need I'm a little low on them. So if I use a crest bug that has a bead head, I just use a waltz worm because it's so close to being a crest bug that pattern does it for me. But I do tie some without. I actually tied after I tie some pheasant tails, I think maybe we'll tie some size 16s. I'll show you guys this like rainbow crest bug that I use on Spring Creek that always does good. I caught like 3 15-inch browns out of this one run this one time with this rainbow crest bug pattern, and I was like, ever since then I keep that pattern in my fly boxes. Hey, what's up, Mystic? Thanks, man. Yeah, that one. It was a little shorter this week, just because I didn't get too much good like footage that day. But I kind of like left out some of the footage that I should have gotten on film, but like didn't. I didn't have the GoPro on good or like long enough. But I actually just recently. I'm using I got the GoPro, like the new GoPro Hero 9, because before the GoPro that I had, you couldn't, it was a 7 silver, so I only had one battery. Like, you couldn't swap out the batteries on it. So, I got the GoPro Hero 9 now, and it has swappable batteries, so you guys can expect to see in the future a lot more hookups on film and a lot better quality GoPro footage. I got like 4 extra batteries for it and a 256 gigabyte micro SD, so I should be able to film almost everything every time and get, like I said, get more hookups and stuff on film. I think that was like my number one request, was to get more like actual fishing footage and like hookups when I'm fishing and stuff like that. Actually, I think we just twisted that UV, and I think it popped off a little bit. Just like I said, I think I pulled too tight on that whip finish. No, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the whole GoPro with the mic thing. They sell like a media mod that actually has like an external mic that you can use. The only thing is, once you're using that, it's not waterproof. So I think we're still just going to go with the good old GoPro, built-in audio for those clips. I know it's not the best, but I'm still going to be doing like where I use the DSLR for, showing you guys the fish closer up and like talking to the camera when I'm doing talking to the camera stuff, just because it's a lot better footage. And I'll still use like the DSLR for like B-roll footage and stuff like that, but all right. So well, let me get a flashlight because I just realized you guys can't really see that. It's the bottom row on the left. We just finished that up. Bottom row on the left. And now we are going to tie some size 16 pheasant tails. So give me a brief second here just to kind of put this stuff away that I was using, kind of clean up the area, and then we'll switch over. Colosderman, that's probably a good starting fly to start tying. I've tied them in the past. I don't really use them much, but yeah, they're pretty easy to tie if you're trying to look for like a nice good starter fly. Just trying to clean up some of this area because I hate when it's a mess, because then I'm just like looking all over the place for stuff. Well, I have enough hooks to tie pheasant tails. I forgot when the last time I went to order hooks, I needed size 16, but they were actually out of the size 16 of the hook that I use. So I'm a little low on hooks, but I should be able to fill up the pheasant tails that I need with this. Yeah, you check those out. What did you think of those? I'm actually thinking about redoing both of those videos now that I have like better camera equipment and stuff, and I'm a little more experienced with making videos, just to kind of give you guys a more in-depth guide of like how I set that, those rigs up and use it. And I actually need to switch out my thread here, so give me one more second. So this is a little preference I have for when I'm tying my pheasant tails. I always use 3 tails or 3 fibers for the tail and 4 fibers on a size 16 for the body and 3 fibers for a size 18 on the body. I just build like a little thread dam there to keep that bead from moving. And still got to get some of my materials out here for this fly. So I need to get copper wire. And what else do we need? Copper wire. That should be actually it. So I think I have everything out now. Yeah, you can do that too. And then the only thing is, if you put 50 yards of mono on and then you want to switch to your fly line, it's kind of a pain in the ass anyway. Like, it's not even worth, like, because you got to take 50 yards off just to get to your fly line. So, I mean, if you kind of want to still be able to switch between the mono rig and your fly line, I still recommend just using a different reel or another spool. But I haven't used fly line in probably over 2 years. So, actually, I take that back. The only time I use fly line would be like if I'm brook trout fishing and like throwing like small dry flies or something. I do not. I only use tungsten beads, and then if I need extra weight while I'm fishing, I'll either switch out fly sizes or add like a heavier fly to the bottom or something, or just add split shot. There are some flies though that I do put like lead wire on, but as far as using it as like a putting it on some fly, like some pheasant tails or something. I mean, if I just need my pheasant tail to go deeper, I'll either put it on the tag and add like a heavy dropper, or just add split shot. See you, Mystic. So here's a little trick. I actually got this off of the Tightline video production fly tying channel, but I actually found out that a lot of people have never seen this. So you basically counter wrap your wire. So we'll get that part done first. I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to like see what I'm doing on camera, but I'll try to explain it. So once you get up here where you're gonna like actually tie off your counter wrapped wire, so instead of doing any like, so this is basically so that the counter wrapped wire gets pulled tight instead of like pushed loose. You take your thread and actually just reverse it around like the wire. So you take a few reverse wraps and you use the wire to pull your thread to the opposite side, and then once you're ready to go back the correct way, use the wire to pull it back and make it go the correct way, and then you can just helicopter off the wire and it stays on there like super tight. Love doing that. I do that with every counter wrap that I do. It's actually not a lot of dubbing on there. I'm going to add a little bit more. So this is a size 16, and we're using a bead size of 2.8 millimeter. So yeah, 3 millimeter. This dubbing is Ice Dub Peacock Black. I call this the magic dubbing because I literally use this on probably 80% of my nymphs, and that's my favorite dubbing. I love it. Love the color. Love the ice dub. Love everything about it. This right here is this pheasant tail is my top producing fly. Day in and day out, this thing just always catches fish. Um, so I may have originally used something else, but I think when I first started tying these, I was still using um, just like a regular like peacock curl, and then I found this stuff just because I was like I hated like putting the peacock curl on there, and I was just looking for a way to like kind of make the fly even easier to tie. And I was like, you know, if I could just wrap some dubbing on here that looks the same, uh, that'll just make this fly like 10 times quicker to tie. And I ended up ordering that stuff probably 3 years ago, and ever since I just been using that. I've never tried anything else with this just because it's been so effective. I've had like no thoughts of trying anything else, but yeah, I'm sure if you put some other dubbing on here, it would probably be just as effective. But I attribute it to that black peacock ice dub just because I've used that black peacock ice dub on other flies, and I swear like every fly I put that dubbing on is like a killer fly. Yeah, I actually do have some of that regular peacock ice dub as well. That stuff actually is really good too. Now I still prefer the black, but yeah, that the color of the regular peacock ice dub is pretty sweet. Also, I actually use that on some of my streamers. Oops. Yeah, I believe I actually tie some Frenchies like that with that pink. It's either, yeah, let me think. Yeah, I think I tied those with like pink dubbing and then like maybe like a red hotspot or something, or purple. I can't remember, but yeah, definitely works good on this fly. I didn't even think to mention that, just because like when I think of a Frenchie, I think of it as like a whole other fly, but it's basically just a pheasant tail with a different dubbing or hotspot. After I tie this fly, I gotta get a different pheasant tail out. This one's kind of crappy. Like the quality of the fibers is not that great. Okay, where is a different pheasant tail? Here we go. I actually think I was using this pheasant tail last time I tied these because of that reason. So I think after we finish up these pheasant tails, I might actually call it a night. I got 4 more to tie, but my back's starting to hurt and I'm kind of tired because I've been up since like 4 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. this morning. So I went to go fishing early but still got a little bit to tie here, so. It actually looks like an old bead. Sometimes if I'll use like the old bead off like an old fly or something, it looks like one. It'll still catch fish. Is that an actual company, or do you do the same thing? Like, actually, back when I was in college, what I used to do was if I had flies where the hook went dull, or I don't know, I was just done, or like the fly started to fall apart, I'd actually, instead of just throwing it away, I'd put it back in my box, and then when I used to get a razor blade and cut everything off of them and reuse the hook if it wasn't dull, and reuse just the bead if it was just the fly that was like torn apart. I don't really do that anymore just because it's too much. Like, I don't have that much time on my hands to go back and do it, and now that I'm like working, I have money to just buy new beads and stuff if I actually need them. Old bead for older fish. Maybe I can catch me a nice old big boy brown with this. Maybe if we ever get some water in the streams. Come on. Yeah, I actually, I use that black ice dub for the belly of some of my streamers. So I use it like as the dubbing inside my woolly buggers. I use it for like the body of sculpins. Well, we are going to have just enough hooks. I gotta tie 2 more and I got 2 hooks. Alright, so we're going to tie our last one, and then like I said, we're going to be basically wrapping it up at this point. Maybe the next one we do, we'll do some crest bugs and stuff, if you guys want to tune back in for that one. Before you head out though, if you haven't already, just leave a like on the video. Lets me know that you guys want to see more live fly tying videos like this. This one was a little... I know you guys were talking in the chat there, and I appreciate that. Some of the other ones actually have been a little bit more... I've had some more people in here, so it was a little bit more like fun and a lot more conversation going on. So I guess it just depends on how many people we get in here. But yeah, I mean, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a like on this video. And then, like I said, we're wrapping it up here. Once I finish this fly, we will call it a night. Alright guys, just finished this up. Yeah, have a good rest of your evening, Lee. But yeah, just finish up this fly here. We're going to be wrapping up here and calling it a night. And I will see you guys next time if you guys decide to join in. Thanks for watching.